Hey everyone, job boards are awful, and I want to go over some of the reasons why and tell you what you can be doing to make your experience less awful. So you're all familiar with the big name job boards out there. There are a bunch of smaller niche ones, but I didn't feel like listing those here. And the thing that I always notice is that anytime you bring up any one of these job boards around somebody, they never have anything positive to say about them. Like everybody I ask about, say, Indeed is like, oh man, Indeed sucks. Even if they got a job off of Indeed, they still think it sucks. So why? Why do we hate these sites? Okay, first off, the premise of this video is that I'm complaining about job boards. While I am kind of trying to have an argument, at the end of the day, it is me just complaining on the internet like a baby. And that's me right there. A little crying baby. Anyways, let's continue. My main gripe with these job boards is that when you submit an application, it just gets vaporized instantly. It just like vanishes. Like you click apply and it's just gone. Like you gotta believe that somewhere out there, there's like a notification or an email that's being sent or just some list that you're being added onto, and it's a list that somebody periodically checks. I mean, for all I know, the button actually just does nothing. Okay, that's not true. Sometimes you do get an automated email that says, hey, thanks for applying, which is always really reassuring because, you know, they went through the whole effort of clicking one button to set up the automated email feature. But let's assume that they do end up receiving your application and now your name shows up on a list with a bunch of other applicants. I'm not a recruiter, so I don't actually know, but I would imagine that a lot of these postings get thousands of applicants. That's great because that means if the recruiter blinks at the wrong time, they'll totally miss my application. And that's very reassuring. So definitely worth paying $40 a month for LinkedIn Premium so that you can feed your own anxiety about this. Okay, next let's talk about the fact that spreading misinformation is the internet's bread and butter these days. And of course, this also applies to online job boards. So there are a lot of people who lie about their experience to get interviews, and these people aren't really all that bad because everyone sugarcoats their stuff a little bit. But there are people straight up committing fraud and pretending to be other people on these websites. Like that's actually just stealing somebody's identity. Then there's other groups of people who are trying to get two full-time jobs at once so they can make even more money. So they're basically just running a scam where they lie about having another full-time job and try to be a mediocre employee and collect two paychecks. So, you know, it's great that job boards enable this kind of stuff. It definitely makes life more interesting. Speaking of being a scammer and a hack, I'd like to plug my channel real quick. I'm starting to put out videos regularly now, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Subscribe to my channel and you can watch me get better over time. Okay, so unfortunately for you and your mental health, you're going to be spending a lot of time alone while job searching. You get to fill in tons of forms and read a bunch of automated messages. Good news though, is that if you do this enough times, you'll get to talk on the phone with a stranger for 15 to 30 minutes. You get to give them an elevator pitch, which as we all know is the epitome of social interaction. And remember that if you're getting bored and feeling antisocial, they're making LLMs better and better every day. And honestly, they're nicer to talk to than most people. And I'm mostly talking about being an applicant here, but I imagine that there are some terrible things from the recruiter side too. Personally, going through thousands of applications doesn't seem like my cup of tea. I would imagine that it usually ends in some kind of recruiter doom scrolling. But you know, hiring is just like swiping on a dating app. Reading some blurbs and having some quick chats is really all you need to know to make a major decision. But job boards aren't going away anytime soon because they do actually benefit people in some ways. There are plenty of people who get hired using these things, so that's nice. Companies benefit, maybe. They get to reach into a much larger talent pool, which sounds like a good thing, but it also sounds like it could make it way more likely that you choose the wrong person for the role. It keeps the economy moving, people get hired, people get paid, people spend money. It's great for people who are good at presenting themselves, if you can really make yourself look good and you're good at convincing people of stuff, you're going to do great in this environment. And of course, the folks at Indeed and ZipRecruiter, etc., are having a great time because it's unlikely that in the near future, people are just going to stop needing jobs. So these products will keep printing money for the foreseeable future. And as promised, here are a few things that you could be doing as either an applicant or just a person. Remember to apply more. The probability of you getting any one job that you apply to is pretty low. So in order to increase your probability, just apply to more jobs. While you're applying more, you can also care less. You're going to get a lot of rejection emails, and that shouldn't really bother you. If I had to guess, I'd say most companies don't care very much about you as an individual, so you should care about each individual company that much less. Like if they cared about you, they wouldn't ghost you on your application or send you an automated rejection like minutes after you apply. Reading can be pretty boring, so most people don't do it. But if you do read, that kind of sets you apart from everyone else. You'll sound a lot smarter when talking to people. So sounding smarter is good. Probably get a job that way. And be honest, I guess. Spending time scheming and trying to spin the truth is time that you could be spending doing like anything else, preferably something fulfilling like reading a book to your kids or baking scones. The thing is that online applications make lying really convenient, and it seems like that's what you need to do to get ahead. But if you stoop to the level of just lying about a ton of stuff, that kind of just makes you a scumbag and nobody's going to want to hang out with you. So that's it. Job boards are pretty awful. If you disagree, write me a really angry message. That's fine. But anyways, good luck and happy hunting.